Hey guys, how's it going? Buster Photo here with another review and how-to. Today I have a beautiful Nikon F. I think I bought this at a pawn shop, paid 40 bucks for it, if I remember correctly. One of the first cameras, film cameras that I bought last year, and yeah, try to avoid pawn shops if you don't know what you're doing. I came out lucky and mine's in full working order, but I was a little nervous when I came home, wondering if everything worked correctly because I didn't really know what I was looking at. But anyways, let's go over the features of this camera. The version I have has a FTN viewfinder, and today I have it with a Nikon 50mm 1.4. Now on these older cameras, if you have a viewfinder that takes light readings, like this one, there's a different one that doesn't have a light meter in it. It's a much lower profile for the Nikon F. But if you do have one of these old FTN viewfinders, it needs to be physically coupled with the lens, and I'll show you that in just a second. So just going over the front of this camera, we have looks like a little flash port right here. Right here you have your lens release, and I'll use that now to show you how you couple this lens with the Nikon F, or rather this Nikon F with the lens. So right here you see a little aperture indexing window, and if you do everything correctly, this should show the maximum aperture of your lens. And it's physically coupled with the lens via this little metal tab here. And in order for that to work, your lens must have these little rabbit ears. Now you can use well, not any, but you can use any Nikon lens that has an aperture ring with this camera, but you won't get any light readings. You'll have to just, use an external light meter, or just use your eye if you're good with that. So what you do is you put on the lens, and then when you slide this up, those little rabbit ears grab on to that little metal thing, and it's already on there. And what you do is you cycle the lens ring the aperture ring all the way left, and then all the way right. And if you did it correctly, it should show you your maximum aperture. And there's a 1.4 lens, and that's just shy of 1.2, so it looks like we did everything correctly. Right here you have your depth of field preview. You can see the aperture blades closing right there. Right here you have your mirror lockup. What you do is you hold it down, press down, and then turn up, and then on the next time you fire the shutter, the mirror will lock up, and it'll stay in that position until you turn this back down. Right here we have your self timer. I think it's about 10 seconds. Let's just go half of the way. And in order to use that, you wind it. You can wind it all the way around, but let's just wind it for right now. Oh, it's already cocked, but normally you would pull the film advance lever, and then you don't hit the shutter release. You press this little button right here, and when you press that, it should start winding, and it should fire if it works, and this one does. So that's in working order. Moving towards the top of the camera, we have our, like I mentioned earlier, our film advance lever. Right here you can select how many exposures are in your film roll. It's 36. If you slide that to the right, it shows 20 also. Just a little reminder. Right here you have your film counter, your shutter release, and the A and the R. A is for when you're advancing. That's during normal shooting. But when you're done with your film roll, you put it in R, and that'll release the film roll, and you can therefore then rewind your film. Right here we have our your film speed settings, and just a little metal ring, and you kind of pull up on it, and then you turn it. It's really hard to grip, at least it is for me. And then that's how you set your film speed, and that is actively coupled with the viewfinder. Right here you have the two buttons to turn your film, your light meter on and off. this is on, this is off. If you leave it on, the battery will die. And the off button also works as a battery check. Now if you see that little window, you see the little needle, if you press it down, and if it jumps to the left past that little circle, then that's showing that the battery is good to go. Right here you have your film rewind knob, pretty simple. And right here, these little two metal things, that's you can put a flash on there. Right here we have the serial number. On the Nikon F and F2, the first two serial numbers indicate the year that your camera was produced. Mine has a 71, so safe to assume 1971 is the year that this camera was made. Towards the back, just the film door. Little rings for a little neck strap right there. Right here you have another, it's a physical reminder of what film speed you're using. This isn't actively coupled with the one I showed you earlier. And the reason this one is here is because there are viewfinders that don't have this, just a regular standard eye-level viewfinder. So this would be a good reminder right here of what film speed you're shooting with. Here's your tripod mount, and this is to open and close the back of the camera. You just simply turn it all the way around, and the entire back of the camera will come off. Slide that down, and I mean the entire back of the camera comes off. And that's that right there. And right here, of course, your film will go here. There's your little slot to slide your film in when you bring it over. And my shutter is a little damaged, but it still works perfectly fine. Works good. All right, so let's put this back, and I'll show you a little more about the viewfinder and how to change it out. The cool thing about these cameras is they were made to be customizable. You can put different viewfinders on here. This is how you close this. Different viewfinders and also different focusing screens. And the way you would change that is this little button right here is part of the release for this viewfinder. So you press that, and you see it pop up. And there's also a little lever right here that releases these two little feet underneath this little plate right here. So you pull that, and it should. I think this one's still caught. There we go. And the entire viewfinder comes out. And just to go over a little bit about this viewfinder, it does take batteries, and you would need like a nickel or a quarter to open the little battery compartment door, and that's where your two batteries would go. The batteries that were originally made for this camera are no longer available, at least in the US, because they use mercury, and it's illegal to have batteries with mercury now. But they do. There are some modern batteries that will fit and power this. The voltage is off. It's a little different. The original was 1.3. The ones in here are 1.5. But it didn't really affect my light meter readings. I mean, I trusted the light meter readings that I was getting from this viewfinder, and my pictures came out great. So let's put that to the side for now. And I'll show you the focusing screen. And that's it right there. And you can take it out by pressing this little button, and you see that moving right there, and it releases the focusing screen. And there's no real good way to get it out of there, just kind of let it fall out. There we go. And on this particular camera today, I have a K focusing screen. Like I mentioned, these cameras were meant to be fully customizable, so they have tons of different focusing screens that you can use for this camera. This one is particularly my favorite, the K. It's got a Fresnel field, and then I love the little split image in the middle that helps focusing a lot. Makes focusing really easy. And to put it back into the camera, you just make sure the letter's facing you and in the correct orientation, and then you just press this little button. The same one that releases it is the same one that lets it go back into place. So you just put the front part first, let the back fall, let go of that, and your focusing screen is back. Now, as I mentioned, customizable options on this camera. This is a waist level viewfinder. It's really easy to put on. You just, no little lever to pull or anything. You just literally just press it down on top. And there it is. And this is really great for street photography because you don't have to hold the camera up to your eye. You can just let it sit at your chest, maybe with a neck strap or something, or just with your hands. And then you open that, and you can look through there. And it's nice. It's a nice, beautiful little waist level viewfinder. And if you can't really see if you can't really make out if you're focused or not, it has a little assist. It's a little magnifying circle, and it shows you if you're focused or not. Really cool little viewfinder, and really cool little customizable option. We'll leave that one on there for now. And yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it for this camera. It's beautiful, man. All metal, built like a tank. You can drop this thing and nothing will happen to it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful camera. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I want to make lots of more of these videos. And by liking these videos, it helps other people find them. And, you know, it helps with me making more of these little videos. If I got anything wrong, if I'm forgetting anything, please let me know in the comments. And, oh my gosh, speaking of forgetting something, the shutter speed. So we have from T, which if you fire it, the shutter will stay open until you turn the dial. So that's for those really, really long exposure shots. And it also has B for bulb, 1 second, all the way to 1,000th of a second. Really, 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 really cool camera. And that is here in case you don't have the FTN viewfinder. If you have a different viewfinder, you can use this little circle. But if you're using the FTN viewfinder, this simply goes on top, and as you turn this, it'll turn this one. That's how you get your shutter speeds changed. But yeah, beautiful camera, Nikon F, and they've made six Fs. Nikon F, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6, and the F6 is still being made today. I personally own F2, 3, 4. Still trying to find the F5, and of course the Nikon F. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Again, please like, subscribe, and have a nice day.